Welcome to Red Moon Anime. Today we're breaking down Black Butler Season 5, Episode 2. Ciel and Sebastian enter Sieglinde's Emerald Castle, uncovering dark secrets, werewolves, and a curse. As tensions rise, even Sebastian faces emotions he can't explain. Let's get into it. The episode opens with the mysterious and eccentric Sieglinde Sullivan extending a warm invitation to Ciel Phantomhive and his companions, welcoming them into the lavish and enigmatic halls of her Emerald Castle. Upon arrival, the Phantomhive servants are instructed to remain on the ground floor, ensuring they do not follow beyond a certain point, while Sieglinde personally escorts Ciel and his ever-loyal butler, Sebastian Michaelis, to the upper levels of the castle. As they ascend the stairs, Ciel can't help but notice something unusual about Sieglinde. He observes that she appears to practice foot-binding, a painful and antiquated tradition, most commonly associated with historical Chinese culture. This peculiar detail adds another layer of intrigue to their already unusual host. Wolfram couldn't help but wonder why someone from Germany would go to such lengths. What could possibly motivate them to act that way? The thought lingered in his mind, heavy with curiosity and unease. As he pondered the situation, Sieglinde suddenly mentioned that she was feeling hungry. Without hesitation, Wolfram decided to head to the kitchen to prepare something for her to eat. To his surprise, Sebastian soon followed him into the kitchen. Rather than just observing, Sebastian rolled up his sleeves and began assisting with the cooking. Together, the two prepared a rich and delicious dinner, carefully crafted to satisfy Sieglinde's appetite. The aromas that filled the air promised a meal far beyond the ordinary, sumptuous, comforting, and made with care. Just as the final touches were being added to the meal, Hilda entered the room with a serious expression. Her words immediately captured everyone's attention. The great werewolf had been spotted in the village. The atmosphere shifted at once, the peaceful domestic scene now overshadowed by an air of tension and concern. Ciel, Sieglinde, and the rest of their group make their way to the village plaza, where they come upon a troubling scene. A young woman lies before them, clearly injured, with visible wounds on her back. The atmosphere quickly grows tense when an elderly villager steps forward and directs her anger towards Ciel and his companions, accusing them of being the cause of the girl's suffering. She claims that outsiders have no place in the werewolf forest, and that their presence there has brought misfortune. As tension brews among the villagers, Wolfram steps in and calmly but firmly advises everyone not to enter the forest, for the time being, emphasizing the danger that currently lurks within its depths. After returning to the castle, Sieglinde finally opens up about a secret she has long kept hidden. She calmly reveals to the others that she is, in fact, a witch, one gifted with the extraordinary ability to read the thoughts of those around her. This revelation, though surprising, is only the beginning of what she shares. Sieglinde then begins to explain the true origins and meaning behind the story of the werewolf, shedding light on the tale in a way that no one else could. As she speaks, she offers a glimpse into the misunderstood history of witches, explaining that they were once revered, not feared. Far from being evil, witches were known for their deep knowledge of nature and their ability to use herbs to heal the sick, protect communities, and drive away misfortune. Through her words, Sieglinde paints a picture of a forgotten past, one where witches stood as guardians of humanity, offering hope and salvation in times of darkness. Despite their intentions, they were viewed by the outside world as heretics, feared and rejected by those who did not understand their ways. Persecuted for their beliefs and hunted for their power, they had no choice but to flee. Seeking refuge, they escaped deep into the shadowed wilderness, where few dared to tread, the forest ruled by werewolves. It was a place spoken of in hushed tones, dangerous yet untouched by the reach of human hands. Among the fleeing witches was one known as the Emerald Witch, a powerful and wise figure among her kin. Realizing that the survival of her people depended on sacrifice, she made a bold and desperate choice. To secure the protection of the werewolves and ensure the safety of her kind, she offered up her own legs to one of the beasts and entered into a sacred contract. In doing so, she gave up her ability to walk, a symbol of her willingness to bear the burden for all who came after. This pact was not to be forgotten. As a result of the Emerald Witch's sacrifice, every witch who descended from her line was bound to honor the agreement. They followed a solemn ritual, binding their legs so tightly that they could no longer walk. It was a painful tradition, but one that kept them safe and reminded them of the price their ancestors had paid for survival. Sieglinde begins to explain her theory, believing that the contract once made between the original Emerald Witch and the powerful Great Werewolf must have reached its limit or expired over time. Without the protection of that ancient pact, the village and those who venture near are now vulnerable to the werewolf's attacks. After sharing her thoughts, Sieglinde opens up to Ciel, revealing something personal. She has never set foot outside the village since the day she was born. Her entire world has been confined within its boundaries. Then, showing a rare moment of trust, she reaches into her belongings and hands Ciel a small but intricately crafted amulet. She tells him that it holds protective power, enough to shield him from the werewolf should he encounter it. In that moment of vulnerability and kindness, an unexpected bond begins to form between them. That's how Sieglinde and Ciel Phantomhive take the first step toward becoming friends. As night falls and darkness blankets the land, Ciel and Sebastian quietly make their way into the forest, ready to begin their investigation into the strange events that have been unfolding. The moon casts a silver glow through the treetops, and the forest is eerily silent, broken only by the soft crunch of leaves beneath their feet. Despite his usual composure, Ciel suddenly finds himself overwhelmed by emotion. Tears begin to well up in his eyes and fall freely down his cheeks, surprising even him. He doesn't understand why he's crying, but the sorrow feels uncontrollable, as if triggered by some invisible force in the air. Just then, the two spot a shadowy figure lurking nearby, a werewolf watching them from between the trees. The presence is undeniable and threatening. Acting swiftly, Sebastian decides not to risk Ciel's safety any further. Without hesitation, he gently but firmly escorts the young master back to the safety of the castle. Once assured that Ciel is secure, Sebastian turns back toward the forest, alone. His eyes narrowed with determination as he prepares to track and confront the mysterious creature that dared to reveal itself. However, as he dashes through the dense, shadowy forest, branches whipping past him and leaves crunching beneath his hurried steps, something strange begins to stir within him. The demon Butler, known for his cold, calculated nature and lack of human sentiment, suddenly becomes aware of an unfamiliar sensation: wetness trailing down his cheeks. He instinctively touches his face, only to realize that tears are streaming from his eyes. The episode concludes with Michaela's Sebastian, halting in confusion, standing amidst the trees, utterly bewildered. For the first time, he finds himself facing a mystery he cannot solve. Why would a being like him, crafted without the burden of human emotion, begin to cry? And that's a wrap on Black Butler Season 5, Episode 2. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery of Sieglinde Sullivan and the Werewolf's Forest, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Let's unravel more Black Butler secrets together. We've got even more thrilling recaps, character insights, and jaw-dropping moments coming your way, right here on Red Moon Anime. Make sure you check out our other videos and tap that notification bell so you're always the first to know when new content drops. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.